Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna tell you is, I mean, Conqueror is not like the worst thing that you could have pulled out. Kind of torn on it though. I think I would rather you have press the attack than anything. It looks like you have been jumping around on different pages. I would say, based on my experiences, let me pause this real quick. Based on my experiences, Draven is a champion that, okay. The reason we play Draven is to win lane. We don't really play Draven to scale. I don't think Draven is viable as a, I'm just gonna scale. Sure, there are people that like play like Klepto or whatever, and that are like Draven one tricks and pop the fuck off. I think really what you should be aiming at is probably just do like press the attack. I'm trying to think. Press the attack, triumph, alacrity, coup de grace, and probably the inspiration tree with the free boots and the biscuits. Over what you decided to do here, which is like Conqueror. You went Conqueror. Volvix, thanks for the prime. You went Bloodline. You don't need Bloodline though. Draven pretty much always rushes Vamp Scepter, so you don't need Bloodline. That's just overkill. You don't need Taste of Blood. You don't need that. You'll have plenty of lifesteal organically anyways. And then yeah, your actual like runes here, these rune stats make sense to me. Oh, this game's full Mario Party. Full Mario Party game. This is a right, proper silver game. Uh-oh. Okay, first things first. You shouldn't really be trading at all. Once the wave starts pushing you and they get level 2, you should just be backing up completely to heal back up. I'd probably just go ahead and use my health pot here. That way if Blitzcrank hits a hook, we can actually do something on it and not feel too scared. Yeah, Blitzcrank was full Pepega. Pepega Crank. He's got a Blitzcrank name, too. What a god. $1 million mastery points. Flashing out here would have been the play. Flashing out and healing up. Also using your health pot before. This is what I was talking about earlier when I said use your health pot, so when you get into an all-in, look at your health before we get into this fight. Using your health pot here grants you 150 health. You are at... yeah, you're just about 150 health shy. You would get a double kill here if you'd use your health pot before going in on this. Hell, if you used it, if you used it right about now, you'd probably have already been fine. You would have had another 100 health to work with, depending on how you timed it. Well, let's talk about this for a second. So, we have flash, yes. Blitzcrank is in river. Blitzcrank is in river. So, you really don't want to be hitting tower when he's in river. The only time that you can justify hitting tower is if he's like right here, hiding out of vision, trying to bait. But we don't know where Kayn is. Look where Hecarim is. Their side of the jungle. If Hecarim's here and he's not being contested, Kayn is always here in this quadrant. Or in your jungle, flanking you. Either way, it's not a good position to be hitting this tower because one or the other, you're going to be getting ganked and you're going to have to burn flash, which is going to suck penis. This is the gentlest of Elos. So did silver used to be bronze? Last year or no? Did that move at all? Just curious. Just a curious question. Or is it the same? Good hook by the Blitzcrank main, dude. Yeah, I was just curious. I wasn't asking that question to be a douche. I was legitimately just curious. I'm just wondering if it changed at all, if it's roughly the same. Because I know they fucked with the ladder for diamond and stuff. And changed the distributions a little bit. Yeah, the heal was a little sketchy. You should back here. Small victories, you just take little chunks, and then you backed. I'm glad you didn't stay. We're going Bloodthirster, which is standard. Yeah, you feel pretty good about this trade. Anybody remember when Draven came out? You know how terrible he was? Or no, not terrible in like he was bad. Terrible as in absolutely broken. You know Draven used to have a bleed? He used to have a bleed. He used to just auto you. And you would get it from range, and you would get the bleed passive. Let me give you a fitting image for that time. I'm sorry, I must leave you, Draven. Because how can we be blood bros when you don't even make enemies bleed? And that's Draven after the change on the 4th panel. There was a comic for that. Way back in the day. 4th panel right there. Yeah, it's a very feels bad comic. Yeah, it used to be broken. I don't know why I decided to talk about that, but it was just in my head. Yeah, there should be easy wins from here. The main thing is to just knock the tower down quickly. That ult is questionable, but you know what? I'm not going to judge. I see Kane topside, so I'm taking tower if I'm you. Very close. I'm probably just shoving back here. It's a little risky to stay pushed up. Your heal is terrible. I don't know why you're doing it. Okay, so where do you go? You walking bottom is a mistake. Here, there's no need for you to be bottom right now. Our goal is to knock down towers. If I'm you, and this is gonna sound really silly, but if I'm you, you're in the elo where people literally just start ARAMing because they don't know what else to do. I would go top and start pushing. I would probably side lane and just start pushing everything. If no one's defending a lane, I'll just go and push it. What are we gonna do with these kills? Let's see. I would shove mid and go to dragon. Okay, your team goes for dragon. I still would have went for dragon with them to make it faster. Now I would go top. Pantheon decides to hold, which is rare, but I probably would have walked to top to begin with. Basically, you just don't want to be in a situation where you miss farm or your teammates let go of farm. And honestly, I think while we're on the topic, I think it's an important discussion point to have. Like, the biggest mistake that ADCs make, and yeah, it's actually a really good talking point. The biggest mistake that ADCs make after lane phase is they stop getting farm. There's ways to get farm around the map. You just have to look for places to do it. Places like anytime that a side lane is collapsing and no one's moving towards it, you move towards it first. Anytime that you pass a jungle camp and your jungler isn't like on the side of the map, so like say Hecarim's up here and you path by golems, do the golems. Find farm constantly. Sieging is good, but this is a little risky. You could die at any time here. There's only 3 of you pushed up. I don't think you die though, as long as you're not dumb and get caged. If you get caged, you're dead. I don't think you needed to flash. No one could one-shot you there. Kind of what you get. Your team was dead. You're still kind of hanging out in mid. And you didn't have flash. It's not really much for you to do here. You're never, like, just off of pure numbers, this is a 5v2. There's nothing that's going to happen where you're going to win. The better move here is after that fight breaks out and your team loses, I would say go get to a side lane and push. Try to move away from action for a little bit and get your farm. Or to get someone to challenge you or something, maybe. Share like a Chad AD carry. Chad marksman. I'd be going bottom here. Ashe is shoving a wave to your tower. And you're gonna lose tower if you don't. See, you just ran it down mid here. Really focus on after lane phase. Don't just smash champions into one another after lane phase. Try to instead try to take fights off of pushing a side lane. And maybe pressuring a tower. Or something like that. You don't have to push in for this tier 2 or anything. You just have to push this wave out and then rotate into mid. Or knock this tower down and then rotate into mid. And then if your team's losing, just back and farm some jungle camps until your team's back up. And you'll keep getting bigger. You're growing. Every time your team dies, it doesn't matter because you're not dying. But you're just dying after them. It's pointless. See, her taking this tower, this is what I wanted you to do up here. Yeah, there's a giant Tristana. No joke. Yeah, I would have probably just stayed pushing here on the side lane. Like I said, this is low elo. People just fight in the middle. They don't really accomplish anything. Just push this in. Like, you don't even have to hit the tower. Just get the wave under tower, then back and come to mid. With some side lane pressure and then a back. And then come clean shit up if you have to. Enemies won't push the base that quickly in low elo. The thing you have to understand is that at this level, if you don't focus on objectives, no one will. No one will go for towers at this level, like ever. Epic 1v1 showdown. One time I was at a LAN. And I played Draven at this LAN. Because it was newbies. That's all I did all night, is I just played Draven. And pretty much all I did was just, and they were mostly like silver and gold players, I literally just side laned. All game. Every game. I didn't care. I very rarely grouped. I would push in and then group, but that's about it. I played it just like I was playing Tryndamere. Really. I mean, I grouped more than I would on Tryndamere, but you get the idea. You get big enough to a point to where you're just healing. Once you have a lead, I mean. Or you're just healing so much. It can be really tough for anybody to duel you. I wouldn't waste a QSS there. Unless you're going to be aggro with it. If you're going to use the QSS, just go ham on him. Run right through his cage and go. What are these pings? And they get Baron. Alright. All that happened this game is that you won lane and then you got baited into ARAM wars. I'm not saying that you shouldn't fight in mid ever. I'm just saying that in low elo, the fights can just go lopsidedly one way or another. And since no one is really gaining farm or XP from the side lanes, normally what happens is if you just focus on knocking down tower, like the free outers obviously first, and then from there you shove waves and then group when it makes sense. If you just group mindlessly with these guys, it's just gonna be up in the air. And a lot of the time I just felt like your team died and then you just kind of floated around. If your team's dead, if there's like 3 or 4 people dead on your team, just reset and chill and farm some camps. Once you get big, it shouldn't be you just march into people. Control, still. Basically invest all the side lane income to me. Push past river, rotate mid. Yeah, pretty much. Knock down tower. If your team is fighting and they're losing, then you start backing or start rotating, depending on how bad the loss is or whether or not you can clean it up. If your team's winning, then you just keep pushing. You push to tier 2, back. You know, if people can defend you, you just push in and back right away. And then you look to group. You're just slowly accumulating that lead, and then you finally go for that fight with all your sums and everything. Then once you don't have sums, look to just farm safely. Don't try to just man mode a fight anymore. When you don't have sums. Positionally play defensive. Or just look for like jungle camps and stuff to farm. Because you really just want to take that lead and then keep it. That's the hardest part about AD carry, in my opinion, is once you get a lead on AD carry, is keeping your lead up. And that's normally why you need to be emphasizing like, oh, there's a lane coming to me on the side lane. I'm going to grab that. Or, oh, there's jungle camps are up. I'm going to grab that. Because what happened was you went from what level? Trying to look at the levels here. Level 14. Ashe is level 13 and Tristan is level 16. She should be really far ahead by now if you'd manage that, or you'd at least be even with these clowns. Positionally it was okay. My bigger issue is the decisions of like how close you were standing to people when your teammates were dead. You should only really loosen up when your teammates are around, or if you have sums up and you know you can like one-shot people. if your teammates are dead, you shouldn't be anywhere near, like here when you die, your teammates are dead, you shouldn't be anywhere near them. You shouldn't be getting ash arrowed because you should not even be showing yourself. 2v5 or whatever it was. You shouldn't even be visible on the map. You should be backtracking all the way to tower. But other than that, I think you got good start on lane. It's just don't get into ARAM wars. And then that will really help. Cool. YouTube. If this goes up on the channel, like, comment, share, subscribe. He's thinking he's the editor, so it's his choice, really. He might try to cheese it for himself. If you like this, go to twitch.tv/Neace. Sub up. It really helps. It's my main source of income. Also, share the content if you enjoy it. I love you guys very much. Thank you for watching. I'm out. Preach crackles. See you next time.